Hello and welcome to a Smurd P video, and we are looking at X-Men issue 6. And I've got to apologize, I have a man cold, so hopefully I don't sound too blocked up on this video. I will try not to. So writer is Jed MacKay, penciler is Netho, Diaz, inker Sean Parsons, colorist, Marty Gracia and Flu. I'm not going to say their second name. I do apologize. It's not going to come out the way that I want it. I hate saying names wrong. And we got VC's Clayton Cows. Oh my goodness. Anyway, so there was a protest outside and a bit of growth from Quentin here, where Idol says, "Come on, what are you planning to do? Messing with their heads and stuff like that." And we see the growth in terms of, he says, "What's the point? I can dig up dirt. I can do all these things that make them hate forever, but they're still going to be here doing the same thing again. You know, we've got to try and," it's almost like he's saying, we've got to try and look past it. And then down here, one of the protesters gives the mutant sign to Idol. So, conference is in session, and the X-Men are discussing everything from all these different fractions with Orchis, the fourth school, and some of these agents in Santi Marco. Also, the adult mutants that have all come along, etc. Ileana really wants to go after one of the teams, etc., to make them pay for that last encounter. And Beast starts relaying that they have somehow encouraged the process of mutant genes to happen. So we've now got this new brand of Homo sapiens superior, perhaps Nova. And there's also a group of Freak she's working with, but we don't know anything about them in reality. Magneto sprouts out mutants, whether they be humanly enhanced or naturally here. They are all welcome here, etc. And these two are encouraged to come up with their own names as well, and they will try and help them. And obviously, Ileana's still going on about wanting to get back at Santo Marco 6. And she also sort of out of turn releases some frustration to Beast, saying, you know, "You're the Beast, you do science," you know, which seems maybe not slightly out of character, but maybe, you know, sometimes it could be seen as she keeps so much in there that sometimes she just outbursts perhaps are quite natural. Because let's be honest, if we keep things to ourselves and we don't say them, our frustrations, they do build up inside of us, and then at some point we perhaps snap, we perhaps, you know, have a go at somebody, you know, something that is deemed out of character. And, you know, maybe that's similar, or maybe I'm just talking about crap. So we also know that perhaps this unknown group are refining their process, and we have no idea why these two were let back into the wild. Maybe they were deemed as failed experiments, or maybe they were just being observed out there. Also, Beast responding to Ileana says, you know, "I'm not the Beast that had all the cutting edge of technology. He's dead. I'm still catching up on, you know, what I've missed in that period of time." Bear in mind, this is the Marvel Universe, so by period of time, this is Beast from the 90s, and that was Beast from 2024. How long that period of time in between was is unknown. So Ileana goes off a bit frustrated. Glob is making quiche for lunch, and a nice little jive with Quentin to remind him of their days in Grant Morrison's New X-Men, where he says, "I remember when you were a budding mutant terrorist." And, you know, it's, once again, it's nice to see a bit of this growth, not only in Quentin, but in Glob as well. So, Idol wants Ileana's help about one of the persons outside, and of course Cyclops, looked into everybody outside there just to make sure that there was nothing dangerous, and it is Rose Ellen Cobb who they are going to be looking into. Also, Ileana refers to herself, am I just a bus? Because she teleports everybody. That's what people want me for. I'm not a bus. Also, she refers to, could this be a trap? Not about a trap in terms of them being overpowered, but more of a trap to lead them to taking a minor against their will. And perhaps a Cold War with the ONN perhaps becomes reality into a real war between the ONN because they have taken this young person, etc. So Ileana once again displays, actually, she is a hell of a lot smarter than perhaps sometimes what is given to her. And you can understand why all these years Cyclops entrusts Magik with certain things, not about just getting him out of scrapes, etc., but he probably looks to her for, what do you think of this situation? Because we know she was raised in a hell dimension, for goodness sake. The skills to survive in that environment must have been immense. So they're talking about this continued protest outside of the mutant camp or factory, whatever you want to call it, and she eventually goes to sleep. We also get this monologue in the background where Idol says, when Cyclops was the same age as her, we're talking about young Cyclops, she had a crush on him. So I just thought that was a little bit interesting and different. So Magik arrives, they're mutants, and they're X-Men. We also get this next little bit where they refer to the Danger Room, and Beast says quite smartly, it's like Stockholm Syndrome. So Stockholm Syndrome is there was a group of, I think, women, and I don't know everything, were captured, and they ended up sort of siding with their captors, and I think some of them fell in love and perhaps got married and all that jazz. So he's referring to it that it is that sort of syndrome because we were so terrified of the Danger Room that we need it in our life, so to speak. And also we get this moment between Magneto where Beast refers to that there's only one thing that he's afraid of, and Magneto says, you won't turn into him, you won't turn into that beast. Cyclops won't allow it, I won't allow it. And it's a nice touch that he's putting a hand on his shoulder. Then they start talking about what's happened to Magneto. They don't go into any real detail of it, just that, something happened and that they are trying to find some sort of cure, because we're all going to need it at some point. So, and he mentions Cortez, and Magneto's like, oh God, I think I'd rather stay in the chair than have a Cortez give me anything. So they start talking a bit to this young lady who's obviously a bit upset, etc. And they just want to understand, do you think you're going to become a mutant? And she says, no, I am a mutant. I'm here. She's the mutant plague, and Oh, sorry. No, I've completely got that wrong. No, she's referring to her mum. She watched all these videos, and her mum's worried about a mutant plague, etc. And then she comes out with, I don't think I'm a mutant. I am a mutant. I almost got this whole town killed. So apparently Quentin Quiro is the dishwasher, according to Cyclops. And Glob's like, you can afford me. Can we sort of get a dishwasher? And then they're just talking randomly about getting their names. And Glob's like, you know what? It's tough to get a cool one. And then Magik's like, well, you should know, Glob. That's, you could have picked a worse mutant name if you thought of it. So they brought this girl here, and then Cyclops like, why would you do this, without a consenting of their guardian? And they didn't want to wait for, him, Magneto, Beast to make a decision. Piper is important, and she says it's my fault, the Iron Giant, and then we just get this beautiful piece here of the Wild Sentinels, and she just says the Wild Sentinels, they were after me, and that is how this issue finishes. I think that is very cool. You have a letters page on there. You know, once again, it's a quality issue. There was a lot of individual growth in there, which in a team this size can be lost, but there's so much potential of characters that can be used to do various things. Whilst they've got these 2 arcs in the background, these mutants being created, for what reason and why, and we've also got this sort of unknown illness plaguing some of the mutants that isn't very clear. You know, some of these things have sort of been done before. You know, we've had the legacy virus. We also had the Inhumans thing not that many years ago. This feels a little bit better, perhaps, than the last one. The legacy one was pretty cool. I like that arc. You know, obviously it went on for a very long time. Also, you know, the whole artificial mutants, that is something new, so I'm kind of a little bit interested in this. So these things in the background, as well as MacKay growing these characters really nicely, and we're seeing little bits fleshed out nice and slow. I like a steady story. I am that person. I love going back and reading Claremont's run, that build up. That's what made me an X-Men fan. So reading it like this rather than a rushed hash job is good in my mind. I actually like Krakoa for that reason. It was a slow, you know, a slow development over a period of time, 5 years, and then, you know, it came to its conclusion rather than dragging on too long. And, you know, that's the argument. I want more, but that could drag on too long. Now, the only thing that I think is rushed, they do have this crossover with Uncanny X-Men, the Assault on Grey Mountain, Malkin, whatever we're calling it. I feel like that is a bit hasty. They should be building up this friction between the teams gradually in these little issues, you know, gradually growing. We're also getting a couple of issues a month, you know. I like getting an issue a month, but, you know, as long as there is a good, solid wave of stories to be told, I'm quite happy, you know. You know, we go back to, we then could argue that, oh, this is dragging on for ages, rather than, you know, being resolved in a reasonable amount of time. Anyway, that's comics for you. I hope you like my video. Please do support my channel by subscribing. Thank you to everybody that's subscribed already. Thank you for watching. Please look after yourself, and as always, embrace geekiness. Take care. Goodbye.